Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Braja Jana Ranjana. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Yamuna Tira Vanachari. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Prabhupada. Jaya Radha, Govardhana, Radha, Govardhana, Shri Radhe. Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagata Srimad Divine Grace C.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahamsa Parivrajagata Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada Maharaj Ki Jai. Nantakoti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Namachara Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Premsakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Dvaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaurabhakta Vrinda Ki. Shri Radha Krishna Gogopinath Shamakun Radhakun Giri Govardhana Ki. Shri Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Dham Ki Jai. Ganga Mai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Bhakti Devi Ki Jai. Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Nittai Gaura Premanandi. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to Shishi Guru and Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Thank you. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jai Jai Sri Caitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. So we continue reading on from the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. We're up to chapter 17 of the Adi Leela, the pastimes of the Lord in his youth, and we're doing text numbers 61 through to 65. 65 has the purport. So we'll read 61, which should be on the board. Esaba mora ninda aparad hoite. Esaba mora ninda aparadas hoite. Amina loyale bhakti nara para laite. Esaba mora ninda aparada hoite. Amina lau yali bhakti na pare laite. Esaba mora ninda aparada hoite. Amina lau ya le bhakti na pare laite. Aparada hoite. Esaba mora ninda aparada hoite. Amina laule bhakti na pare ilati. Esaba mora ninda aparada hoite. Amina lo yale bhakti na pare laite. Esaba mora ninda aparada hoite. Amina lau ali bhaktina pare laite. Synonyms: Esaba, all of them. Mora, of me. Ninda, blasphemy. Aparada, offense. Hoite, from. Ami, I. Na, not. Lau ya ile, of causing them to take. Bhakti, devotional service. Na, not. Pare, able. Laite, to take. Translation by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. If I do not induce them to take to devotional service because of committing the offence of blasphemy, none of these people will be able to take to it. I'll move on to text number 262. Nishtarite ailama ami hoila viparita esaba durjanera kaiche ha ibeka hita. Translation: I have come to deliver all the fallen souls, but now just the opposite has happened. How can these rogues be delivered? How may they be benefited? Text numbers 263. Amake pranati kare hoi papa shaya tabise ihare bhakti lauyele laya. Translation: if these rogues offer me obeisances, the reactions of their sinful activities will be nullified. Then, if I induce them, they will take to devotional service. Text 264. Mo ninda kare ye na kare namaskara ye saba jivere avashya kariba udhara. I must certainly deliver all these fallen souls who blaspheme me and do not offer me obeisances. Text 265. Teva avashya ami sanyasa kariba sanyasi budye more pranata haiba. Translation: I should accept the sannyas order of life, for thus people will offer me their obeisances, thinking me as a member of the renounced order. Purport: among the members of the Varnashram institution's social orders, Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya and Shudra, The Brahmana is considered the foremost, for he is the teacher and spiritual master of all the other varnas. Similarly, among the spiritual orders, Brahmachari, Grihastha, Vanaprastha and Sannyas, the Sannyas order is the most elevated. Therefore, a sannyasi is the spiritual master of all the varnas and ashramas, and a Brahmana is also expected to offer obeisances to a sannyasi. Unfortunately, however, caste Brahmanas do not offer obeisances to a Vaishnava sannyasi. They are so proud that they do not offer obeisances even to Indian sannyasis, not to speak of European and American sannyasis. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, however, expected that even the caste Brahmanas would offer respectful obeisances to a sannyasi, because 500 years ago the social custom was to offer obeisances immediately to any sannyasi, known or unknown. The sannyasis of the Krishna consciousness movement are bona fide. All the students of the Krishna consciousness movement have undergone the regular process of initiation. As enjoined in the Hari Bhakti Vilas by Sanatana Goswami, Tata Diksha Vidhanena Dvija Tvam Jayate Nirnam. By the regular process of initiation, any man can become a Brahmana. Thus, in the beginning, the students of our Krishna consciousness movement agreed to live with devotees, and gradually, having given up 4 prohibited activities, illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, and intoxication, they become advanced in the activities of spiritual life. When one is found to be regularly following these principles, he is given the first initiation, Harinam, and he regularly chants at least 16 rounds a day. Then after 6 months or a year, he is initiated for the second time and given the sacred thread with a regular sacrifice and rituals. After some time, when he advances still further and is willing to give up this material world, he is given the sannyas order. At that time, he receives the title Swami or Goswami, both of which mean master of the senses. Unfortunately, debauched so-called Brahmanas in India neither offer them respect nor accept them as bona fide sannyasis. Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu expected the so-called Brahmanas to offer such respect to Vaishnava sannyasis. Nevertheless, it does not matter whether they offer respect nor whether they accept these sannyasis as bona fide, for the Shastra describes punishment for such disobedient so-called Brahmanas. The Shastra conjunction declares, Devata pratimam drishtva yatim chaiva tridandinam namaskaram na kuradya prayaschitayate nara. Quote, one who does not offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his deity in the temple, or to the Tridanda sannyasi, must undergo prayaschita, atonement. If one does not offer obeisances to such a sannyasi, the prescribed prayaschita is to fast for 1 day. Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Jnana Shramanandasya Jananjana Shalakaya Chaksho Amritam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Caitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shiva Sari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is the last chapter of the Adi Leela section of the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita. As we know, there's 3 portions to the Sri Caitanya Charitamrita: the Adi Leela, the Madhya Leela, and the Antya Leela. So the Adi Leela is covering the first 24 years of the life of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And this section here, which is the last chapter of this Adi Leela, chapter 17, we find that now Lord Chaitanya has begun his Sankirtan pastimes. We know that prior to that he was Nimai Pandit and was acting as if he was some proud educated scholar and was defeating all the scholars. And then we know he went to Gaya, met Ishvarapuri and was initiated into the Harinam Sankirtan, and that's when he began this Harinam Sankirtan Yugadam. So that's the way we worship Lord Chaitanya is in that mood, is when he's taken initiation and has inaugurated this Sankirtan movement. And as we've been reading in the last couple of verses, that he had become a Vaishnava and was preaching this Sankirtan movement, and we know the famous Chandkazi Leela, where he began the first massive public kirtan as civil disobedience to the Chandkazis rule that he was trying to stop this and impede the Sankirtan movement. So Lord Caitanya led the Vaishnavas publicly to the Chandkazi's house in protest, and there's this wonderful conversation that took place between the Chandkazi and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because prior to that, Chandkazi Leela had been doing very private, intimate kirtans at the house of Srivas Thakur. So the Chandkazi Leela is when he came out publicly on a large scale with large devotees, and also residents of the heavenly planets had also come to take part in this wonderful public display of Sankirtan. So Nimai, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was finding that his preaching to a degree was being impeded because he was a householder. He was married, and many people were not accepting this Sankirtan movement. And even at the time when he was running his school, there was one of his students at the school who was challenging him, that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy and began chanting the name Gopi, Gopi, Gopi. And the student, not really understanding the mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, began to criticize him, and also began speaking amongst the other students in the school, saying, why is he chanting this Gopi, Gopi, Gopi for? He should be just chanting Hare Krishna. Not understanding the internal mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, because as we know, that's Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not different from Krishna, but he's come in this mood of being a servant. As we know in the Bhagavad Gita, the famous verse, Sarvadharma Prityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja, Krishna says you have to surrender to me, but he doesn't necessarily entail how that should be done. So Lord Krishna, understanding that in this Kali Yuga people are very dull-headed, that they needed a practical example about how they could apply this verse, how do they surrender. So this is why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came in the mood of the devotee to show by his practical example how to imbibe that verse of how to surrender to Krishna. So of course that's one of the external reasons, is to inaugurate this Sankirtan movement. As we know, there's external and internal reasons for the appearance of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So that was one of the reasons to inaugurate the Yuga Dharma and to show by his own example of how to surrender to Krishna, practically speaking. So because he was a grihastha at this time, not everybody was taking to this Sankirtan movement, and they were also being slightly offensive towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, just like the student was being slightly offensive towards him because he was not understanding his mood, and so he was speaking ill of Lord Chaitanya and was spreading these rumours about that he's chanting Gopi Gopi and he's philosophically deviating and he should just be chanting Hare Krishna. And other caste brahmanas also were being critical towards Lord Chaitanya, saying he's a sentimentalist. And Lord Chaitanya, as we were reading, was lamenting to a degree that if they don't pay obeisances to him and take this devotional service, and they're causing blasphemy towards him, then how can he deliver everybody? Because he's Parama Karuna, Patita Pavana, to deliver the most fallen. So how can he deliver everybody if there are people, a portion of society, who are being blasphemous towards him or having the wrong intention, wrong thoughts towards Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? So his solution was, if I take sannyas, then they will offer obeisances to me, and all the reactions of their sinful consciousness will be purified and nullified, and he'll induce them to take to devotional service that way. So in one sense he would just devised a plan to trick people by offering obeisances to him, surrendering unto him. So we'll read in the coming chapters the pastime of taking sannyas and katwa from Keshava Bharati, and it's also, as we know, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami doesn't go in depth into this particular pastime of the Lord accepting sannyas, because it's covered quite deeply in the Caitanya Bhagavat by Vrindavan Das Thakur, and also Lochan Das Thakur in the Caitanya Mangala. So he just briefly mentions that the Lord went to Katwa, and a few of his associates, like Lord Nityananda was there, Chandrasekhar was there, and Mukunda Dutt came when Lord Chaitanya went to Katwa and took sannyas. And it doesn't really elaborately go into it any further than that. So the Caitanya Bhagavat does elaborate on this accepting of sannyas by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But these verses we're reading is the build-up or the lead-up to the reasons why Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu decided to take sannyas, become renounced. And of course, as we know, that Lord Caitanya is Krishna himself. I mean, he's totally beyond all of this Varnashram system, brahmachari, grihastha, sannyasi. He's beyond all of these things. As we know, that famous verse that I'm not a brahmana, I'm not a kshatriya, I'm not a vaishya, I'm not a sudra. I'm none of these things. I'm just simply gopipatu padakamalo dastas anudas. So that's the mood of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu. But at the time, the social convention was that the Mayavadi sannyasis were quite prominent and people were offering respect to them. So Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu externally was initiated or took sannyas from a Mayavad sannyasi, because we know that sannyas can only be given or bestowed by another sannyasi. In fact, Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that if someone takes sannyas from a grihastha, then it creates an auspiciousness that you must, if you take sannyas, has to be from someone in the renounced order of life. So sannyas, san means the supreme, sam, or the eternal being, and nyasi means renunciation. So a sannyasi is someone who's renouncing their life to serve the supreme personality of Godhead. So Lord Chaitanya wanted to take the sannyas externally, so he would don the saffron cloth, so people would offer obeisances to him and offer him proper respect. And this way, the Sankirtan movement could continue and expand and grow. As we know, that's the mood of Lord Caitanya Mahaprabhu, is to give this mercy to everybody, even though they don't know who Krishna is, that Lord Chaitanya is in that mood of giving Krishna to everyone, even though they may not even know who Krishna is or what devotional service is. So that's why he's the most magnanimous incarnation, because he's freely distributing this pure love of Godhead in the mood of the residents of Vrindavan, which no other incarnation has ever done before. That's why Lord Chaitanya is very unique in that sense, that he's the incarnation who's come to deliver everybody as Patita Pavana. Most other incarnations, like Krishna himself, comes to kill the asuras, right? Chop their heads off and kill them and all these things, whereas Lord Chaitanya has come to deliver them. So Lord Chaitanya, he's building up to taking sannyas, and of course he was confiding in some of his confidential devotees that he was thinking this way to take sannyas, and so many of the devotees were becoming very disturbed by this, that Lord Chaitanya is going to leave us. He will leave us. He's our life and soul, and he's going to take sannyas and we'll never see him ever again. And of course these rumours began to circulate back to Mother Sachi, Lord Chaitanya's mother, and she was greatly saddened to hear this. She was lamenting and crying and was very, very upset. And the Caitanya Mangala elaborates on the mood of Mother Sachi, and she was morose and crying and was pleading with the Lord that you can't leave because my husband's gone, my other son, Lord Chaitanya's brother, had already taken sannyas and he also passed away, and I'll be left alone and who will take care of me? And so she was really putting it on pretty thick to Lord Chaitanya, really spreading it on thick why he can't do this. And also Vishnu Priya, Lord Chaitanya's wife, who was only 14 years old at the time. Lord Chaitanya was 24, she was 14. She also heard these rumours that Lord Chaitanya was thinking of taking sannyas, and she approached Lord Chaitanya with tears in her eyes and once again very morose, and he was asking her, what is wrong, please tell me. And then she was saying, I've heard you've taken sannyas and you're thinking about taking sannyas, and what will I do? And so she was lamenting, and of course Lord Chaitanya, being very soft-hearted towards Vishnu Priya, began to say pleasing words to pacify her, and took his own cloth and wiped the tears from her eyes, and very loving exchange between himself and Vishnu Priya. And we know that Lord Chaitanya had to sneak off at night, like he went to take rest at night under the yoga Maya influence and pretended he was sleeping, and then at night he took off and left to go to Katwa. And we know that he left Vishnu Priya the deity form. Was it Dharmeshwar Mahaprabhu, the one who's in Navadvip now, who's standing like this with his arms like this, which symbolise that I am yours, because this form of the Lord was worshipped by Vishnu Priya when Lord Chaitanya took sannyas and she was 14. She worshipped this form of the Lord, Dharmeshwar Mahaprabhu, till she was in her 80s. So her whole life she fully dedicated herself to the worship of this Lord with great devotion and great bhakti. So she was fully absorbed in serving the Lord, and she also became very emaciated when the Lord left and became very thin, and all she could do was chant, and her bodily luster became very pale, feeling this intense separation from the Lord. And of course these are all transcendental pastimes, and they're all eternal associates of the Lord, and they're very nicely described in the Caitanya Bhagavat and the Caitanya Mangala, this intense mood of separation that Mother Sachi and Vishnu Priya felt from their Lord. So, as we know with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's pastimes, or Krishna's pastimes, there's always multi-layered levels and meaning and depth to these particular pastimes of the Lord. So we, on one level, are hearing today about the Lord's thinking processes. I'll take sannyas so people will not be blasphemous towards me, and they'll pay obeisances towards me, and that way the Sankirtan movement can spread. So in the Chaitanya Mangala, Lochan Dastakor, he elaborates a bit further on the actual internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu taking sannyas. And I actually found this, I don't know if any of you have read this before, the Sri Krishna Caritamrita Bindu. It's by Madhavananda Prabhu. He's a disciple of Govardhana Maharaj, and he's been putting this publication out for many, many, many years, and it usually focuses on certain themes, and this theme of this one was about the secret of Lord Chaitanya, the secret of Gaura's sannyas lila. And so he quotes in this from the Chaitanya Mangala about the internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepting sannyas. So it's actually quite nice because it's not really elaborated on within the Chaitanya Charitamrita, so I thought we could deepen our appreciation for the internal reasons for Lord Chaitanya accepting sannyas. And there's a nice picture here of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sneaking off, leaving his wife Vishnu Priya lying alone when he's taking off to Katwa to accept the sannyas order of life. So I'll read a little bit from this article here, and this is from the Chaitanya Mangala by Lochan Dastakor. In the introduction to his Sri Chaitanya Mangala, Sri Lochan Dastakor has written, quote, "I will tell many secrets, such as the secrets of the Lord's wonderful renunciation." End of quote. Mahaprabhu's purpose in accepting sannyas is a very deep and multifaceted topic. To understand the secrets of his sannyas lila, one has to first consider that for the Lord to take sannyas, he had to give up the association of Mother Sachi and all the loving devotees of Navadvip. If one contemplates on this fact, several perplexing questions arise about Mahaprabhu's relationship with his dear devotees. Chaitanya Bhagavat, Madhyakan, chapter 9, text 215, describes the influence of pure devotion upon the Lord. Quote, "You are conquered by love. This is a great secret, a secret the people of this world do not understand." As we know, that's also talked about, isn't it, in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, about one of the characteristics of pure bhakti is that it brings Krishna under the control of his devotee. So we can see here it's confirmed in the Chaitanya Bhagavat that the only way that Lord Krishna is conquered is through bhakti, through love, and he agrees to come under the control of his devotee, just like we can see with Mother Yashoda. We've just finished the month of Kartik. We can see there Mother Yashoda is chasing after the Lord with a stick and is pretending to beat him, and the Lord is enjoying that pastime. He's getting pleasure from that because he's becoming subservient to the bhakti, the devotion of Mother Yashoda. So he's conquered through love. This is an intrinsic characteristic of bhakti. It binds up the Lord. In his commentary on the Vedanta Sutra, Sri Madhavacharya has written, "The Lord is controlled by bhakti. Bhakti is the best of all." Krishna himself describes the same thing in the Hari Bhakti Sudodaya. Quote, "Though I am eternally free and independent, still I become bound up with the rope of love of my devotees." End of quote. In the 9th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Lord tells Devasa Muni, quote, I am completely under the control of my devotees. Indeed, I am not at all independent. Because my devotees are completely devoid of material desires, I sit only within the cause of their hearts. What to speak of my devotee, even those who are devotees of my devotees are very dear to me. Because the Lord was bound, that's the end of that quote, because the Lord was bound by the love of his pure devotees in Navadvip, how was it possible for him to renounce them? The Lord certainly knew that Mother Sachi could not live without seeing his lotus-like face. How then could he leave his loving mother, his wife Vishnupriya, and others? As we know that the Navadvip pastimes, all of the residents there in Navadvip, they're all personalities from Vrindavan. So they're all eternal associates in Vrindavan Leela who have appeared in this Navadvip Leela. So you can understand the love, the bond that's between all of these associates in Navadvip as eternal associates. One may say that the Lord left them and took sannyas so that he could preach to the students and impersonalists and thereby establish the religion of this age. However, Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes that establishing the Yuga Dharma was an external secondary desire of the Lord. What then was the internal primary purpose of the Lord's sannyas lila? Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami describes the Lord's desire was born from two reasons. The Lord wanted to taste the sweet essence of the mellows of love of God, and he wanted to propagate devotional service in the world on the platform of spontaneous attraction. Thus he is known as supremely jubilant and as the most merciful of all. To accept ecstatic love is the main reason he appeared and re-established the religious system for this age. I shall now explain that reason. Everyone please listen. This is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami from the Caitanya Caritamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4. Just as these desires are the fundamental reason for Krishna's appearance, whereas destroying the demons is only an incidental necessity, so for Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, promulgating the Dharma of this age is incidental. End of quote. So this is going now into the inner purpose for accepting sannyas. Mahaprabhu's internal reasons for taking sannyas are described by Srila Nityananda Das, the disciple of Janava Mata, in his book Prem Vilas. In chapter 7, text 87 to 136, he narrates an intimate conversation between Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu and Lokanath Goswami. So one day Sri Caitanya Mahaprabhu privately revealed his innermost thoughts to Lokanath Goswami. Mahaprabhu explained everything to him about the internal and external unhappiness that was influencing his conduct. The Lord said, quote, I feel dissatisfied remaining silent about the nature of my appearance and mission, but to whom can I speak about this confidential subject matter? I can influence some to respect Nityananda and Advaita, but who will actually hear from me and understand my mission? Some people criticize me and others even jeer at me. I have come to Govardhana, manifesting the mood of Srimati Radharani. I want to experience Radha's feelings of separation from her beloved Krishna. For my sake, Srimati Radhika has given up her family and wealth and has completely dedicated herself to my service. The memory of me has caused her to become lean and thin. She is not even concerned about her appearance, and she never looks at the face of another man. Eager for my company, she remains constantly absorbed in hearing and chanting about me. Being angry with me, she used to complain about my character to the flower groves and the Yamuna, but upon seeing me, she would immediately forget her anger. To Radharani, one day's separation from me is like 100 years. She is my beloved. Together we enjoyed transcendental pastimes in Vrindavan. She is the reason why I live in Vrindavan. She is my life, and I am the same to her. Quote, my friends, servants, father and mother are all bereft of this mellow. Only the gopis can understand it. So this is a quote from the Prema Vilas. O Lokanath, I tell you, Radha has such love that I remain indebted to her. End of quote. Mahaprabhu said, this indebtedness is one cause of my unhappiness. Please listen to another cause. There is a Brahmana who has committed a great sin by criticizing me. This Brahmana does not recognize Krishna's supreme position. Not obeying Krishna as Guru, he has worshipped Krishna's servants, the Devas. Due to this offence, he will go to hell. It is my plan that on the 3rd day of the month of Magha, I shall accept the renounced order of life and leave home. I will become the Guru of all the Brahmanas who carry dandas. For the sake of these Brahmanas, I will take sannyas, leave my home and move from country to country. Quote, this is my external consideration. Listen, O Lokanath, accepting the mood of Radha, is my only necessity. Who is there who can listen to or understand the state of my mind? Radha wears blue-coloured garments, the colour of my complexion, and in this way attains happiness. But when separated from me, Radha would wear a saffron-coloured dress and always think of herself as my maidservant. Feeling separation from me, Radha and the gopis have given up their lives. Now I shall also give up my life for her. You will see me in that condition, O Lokanath. Adopting Radha's complexion and the saffron-coloured cloth of separation, I will become her maidservant and get happiness. Wearing the saffron-coloured dress of separation on my body, I will sing the glorious qualities of Radharani. Her wonderful qualities are not possible to describe. Even if I took birth 100 times in this world, I could not describe them all. I tell you, Lokanath, by the wonderful qualities of her love, she has put me in her debt. Singing her glories, I will flood the universe with her fame, then she will give me her mercy. Getting her praying, I'll cry and dance in Sankirtan with dust all over my body. Saying this, Lord Gora began to cry. Chanting Radha Vrindavan, he rolled on the ground. Sri Caitanya Charitamrita, Adi Leela, chapter 4, text 177 to 180, elaborates on Krishna's debt to the gopis. Quote, Lord Krishna has a promise from before to reciprocate with his devotees according to the way they worship him. In whatever way my devotees surrender unto me, I reward them accordingly. Everyone follows my path in all respects, O son of Prita. That promise has been broken by the worship of the gopis, as Lord Krishna himself admits. O gopis, I'm not able to repay my debt for your spotless service, even within a lifetime of Brahma. Your connection with me is beyond reproach. You have worshipped me, cutting off all domestic ties, which are difficult to break. Therefore, please let your own glorious deeds be your compensation. As described above by Nityananda Das, the only way Mahaprabhu saw to repay his debt to Srimati Radharani and the gopis was for him to take sannyas. One may ask, what is the necessity of his taking sannyas to repay his debt? Wasn't there some other way to repay the gopis other than leaving his home and devotees in Navadvip? The answer is found in the Bhagavad Gita, where Krishna has described the nature of the path of love. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kurus, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So the article goes on and on and on further there. So we can see that's the internal reason that Lord Caitanya accepted sannyas, is he was trying to repay this debt he felt towards the gopis by taking sannyas and absorbing himself in the worship of the mood and worship of Radharani. So anyway, it's quite interesting, and it's the advantage having the access to these books by the acharyas like Lochan Dastakor and Vrindavan Dastakor, is that we can go deeper into the understanding of these pastimes and leelas. Because as we know, there's external reasons and internal reasons, so we need the acharyas to elaborate on these internal reasons and mood of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So anyway, we can stop there, and we'll continue on from text 266, which will elaborate a bit further on this pastime of the Lord taking sannyas, and then we're almost at the end of chapter 17, which is the last chapter of the Adi Leela. Then we move on to the Madhya Leela, where Lord Chaitanya has taken sannyas and spends 6 years travelling all over India and preaching this Sankirtan movement. And there's many, many wonderful pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as he's spending this time preaching. And then at the end of the 6 years, he starts to reside in Jagannath Puri, where he spends 18 years of his life really absorbed in this mood of separation, in the mood of Radharani. So a lot of nectar, incoming nectar. And I didn't elaborate so much on the purport today. Obviously, Prabhupada is talking about the Varnashram system and how the Brahmanas, the sannyasi Brahmanas, are the head of this body, of the social order of this Varnashram system. And he does comment there about sometimes people don't accept these European and Americans as bona fide sannyasis. However, because they're following the Shastra, the Hari Bhakti Vilas of taking initiation from a bona fide spiritual master and giving up the illicit sex, gambling, meat eating, intoxication, and practicing sadhana, then they are bona fide. So it's interesting, I was reading also that Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur, because traditionally actually Vaishnavas didn't wear saffron garb, but it was introduced specifically by Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur because he didn't want followers of Vaishnavism or people who, observing Vaishnavas to take it cheaply. He wanted people to respect them. So he introduced this wearing of the saffron cloth. And we know there was a mystical process even with Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur taking sannyas. He sat down in front of a picture. It was at Gorgashoda's Babaji Maharaj, and that's how he accepted the renounced order of life, by sitting in front of this picture, and became renounced that way. So I'm sure there's all sorts of mystical things going on there, but of course these are liberated souls, so we can't imitate them at all. They're from the transcendent realm. So interesting here, just in reference also to the today's verse, that Prabhupada comments that we should offer obeisances to everyone. He says even to Mayavadi sannyasis that we should offer obeisance to all sannyasis in the renounced order, even if they're not Gaudiya Vaishnava sannyasis, even Mayavad sannyasis, we should offer them obeisances as well. And it says that if one doesn't offer obeisances to a sannyasi, the prescribed prayaschita is to fast for 1 day. So something to meditate upon. If we don't pay obeisances, there is an atonement for that, for not offering obeisances to a sannyasi, is we can fast for 1 day. So we can see that's why Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted this sannyasa order, because especially 500 years ago, it was the custom for everybody to offer their obeisances in respects to someone in the renounced order of life. So it was used as a mechanism to help spread the Sankirtan movement and nullify any offences that people had been making to Lord Chaitanya as a grihasta, not understanding that he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead himself. So anyway, we stop there. Anybody have any questions or points at all? Rupa.
Hare Krishna. So just in regard to offering obeisances to sannyasis, like going back in Lord Chaitanya's Mayavadi sannyasis, as we understand, a lot of them were very strict in following vows and rules and regulations, although they preached the Mayavadi philosophy. But these days, apparently, a lot of Mayavadi sannyasis are not so strict in their no vows and rules and regulations. Many of them, having illicit affairs with women and taking intoxication, meat eating, etc. And it may be well known to many people of these particular sannyasis that are dressed in the sannyas garb but not following at all rules and regulations. Should we still offer respectful obeisances to them, knowing that they're very deviant like that, not only philosophically but in with rules and regulations?
Well, just what came to mind is Prabhupada also had a bad experience with sadhus as well, didn't he? Like his father would bring sadhus over to their house and he could see them doing all sorts of nonsense, so he was a little bit, had a bad sort of jaded experience with the so-called sadhus, and that's why he was very hesitant to want to go and meet Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati. His friend had to forcibly drag him along to actually meet Bhaktisiddhanta Sarasvati Thakur. So yeah, we can see that's the problem, is that it cheapens the people who are wearing saffron cloth when you have people who are wearing it, but as Prabhupada commented, that just to fill their belly, begging so they can fill their bellies up. So we still, as a devotee, we offer obeisances to everybody. Chanadapi Sinichana Toropi Sishina Amanina Manadine Caitanya Sadhari. So it's one thing to offer obeisances, but we don't associate with them. That's the difference. We offer respect to everybody, but we choose our association carefully. So if we know someone's doing nonsense, we'll be respectful towards them, but we're not going to intimately associate with them. And that's what Bhaktisana Saraswati Thakur was teaching, is that you offer obeisances, but we don't associate with them. Yeah. So yeah, offer respect, offer all respect to others, expecting nothing, no respect in return. But doesn't mean we have to associate with these people at all. Yeah. Yeah. Sadhana Mataji.
That we don't pay obeisances to our resident sannyasis. It's not like we've sort of got familiar. I'm just wondering.
Must be a lot of hungry people around then, huh? Fasting for a day.
Well, the thing is, that's what you would do if you didn't pay your obeisances. So, but what is the reaction if you don't pay your obeisances? Is there some reaction? We need to learn that, we need to pay obeisances so we don't get a reaction, because we're not going to fast if we don't even know to pay obeisances.
Well, it says here also, one who does not offer respect to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, to his deity in the temple, or to a Tridana sannyasi must undergo prayaschita, atonement. So it doesn't elaborate on what the reaction is, but obviously there is something there if you're not paying obeisance to the deity and to the sannyasis. But it's easy to become familiar if we're seeing people sort of every day. It's Prabhu, it's you again. But yeah, I mean, it's reflecting our consciousness that familiarity can breed contempt, just as it did with Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Just people became over familiar and didn't understand his position and began to speak, ill words towards him. So there's familiarity there. So yeah, we have to be careful.
When we see them in the temple, I know we pay obeisances to our own spiritual master, but any sannyasi, can we pay them in the temple? Do you know the etiquette for that?
My understanding, and I could be wrong, as other senior Vaishnavas says, generally we don't pay obeisances in front of the deities. To your spiritual masters, there's an allowance to the guru, but generally we don't pay obeisances to each other in front of the deity, is my understanding. If anyone wants to correct that, please do. Yeah. Everyone agrees with that? Yeah. Vasu, yeah. Rupa? Ram Prasad Prabhu? Okay. Everyone's nodding.
I was told that in the temple room when a senior devotee comes, if we're sitting, we stand up, and also we just, instead of bowing down, we just bow our head and do a pranam, because we're honoring the sannyasi. Yeah. But yeah, in Nectar of Devotion it says we don't, as you said.
Yeah, a lot of it's in the mind, like you can catch ourselves in the mind, like too hard paying obeisances, can't be bothered, on our bad days. Yeah. Well, there's all these refinements and Vaishnava culture and Vaishnava dealings which sometimes get forgotten or covered over, and sometimes the culture is forgotten, but everything's there for a reason, to create a nice auspicious atmosphere for everybody. So nice to have reminders of these things sometimes, isn't it? We do forget them. Yeah. Speaking to myself. Anyway, shall we move on to the next stage of the proceedings? Prasadam, Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Charitamrita ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Bhagavat ki Jai. Shri Caitanya Mangala ki Jai. Vrindavan Dastakor ki Jai. Oshan Dastakor ki Jai. Anantakoti Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai. Not in front of the deities. Yeah, well, Lord Chaitanya's asked several times about what's the best way to make advancement. He said, serve the Vaishnavas. I think he said it 3 times, serve the Vaishnavas, serve the Vaishnavas, serve the Vaishnavas. Yeah. That's... Yeah, we read there as well that Lord Krishna is more pleased by people who serve as servants, right? It's more pleasing to him than serving him directly as serving as devotees, servant of the servant of the servant. That's an old one. I know it's online still, and I used to get them, and they're nice because he'll focus on some Lord Shiva, like Vaishnava, Tashambu, like why Lord Shiva is the greatest of Vaishnavas, and all these sort of pastimes in there as well. So it's kind of nice. It focuses on some particular aspect of bhakti. I'm not sure if you're still doing cover copy, but they've been around a long time. Yeah. It's pretty ecstatic. Pretty ecstatic. Yeah. By Govardhana Maharaj. Yeah. I think he's based maybe in Bhubaneswar. Yeah. Gopal Jew Productions? I think Gopal Jew was the name of Govardhana Maharaj's deity. Yeah, I just saw it. I pulled it out of my bookshelf because I knew we were coming up to this section of Lord Caitanya's taking sannyas, so I thought that'd be quite relevant to the topic. Yeah. There's a pastime in here where Krishna took sannyas as well, apparently. Where Lord Krishna accepted sannyas. Where is it? Yeah, the day Krishna took sannyas. Yes, there's all sorts of nectar. So I've got those Bhagavad Gitas at my place. So it's mainly hardbound Bhagavad Gitas. There's only like three cartons of the softbound left, and there's some of the like pocket edition as well. So if you want to get some, my garage is running out of space. Yeah, sure. Okay. Or when do you want to do that? I've got to go to Varshana's got like a dance thing she's doing today, like the end of year dance thing with Margaret Peake. So I think we're leaving around maybe like 12:30ish. I'll probably be out for a couple of hours. So, well, unless you want to, are you going back this morning? Yeah. Yeah, I should be around 10 o'clock. Yeah, that should be okay. I think that should work. Yeah. Yeah, sure. Okay, that'll be good. All right, Jai, Hari Bol. Hare Krishna. How's it going? All right. Well, the nice thing is that I think Prabhupada, what's an example I was reading today that Prabhupada was making about, someone was asking him, the reporters are asking him, well, have you seen God? And then Prabhupada answered saying, well, before I can answer that question, then you have to know the symptoms of God. Do you know what God is? Because the scriptures give detailed explanations of who God is and what he looks like and so forth. So, have you seen God? And they said, well, no, we haven't. And he would say, well, therefore, because I know the scriptures, I can say, yes, I have seen God. So, Well, servants of Krishna. Well, at the moment, we're covered over. Like, we're all eternal spiritual beings, like Jiva is eternal parts and parcel of Krishna. Well, yeah, we chose to come to the material world. That was our choice to come here. It's all based on free will.
And that's a purification process.
Yeah. chant Hare Krishna. Yeah? And it pulls you out of the modes of material nature and pulls us away from our false ego and our false conception of what we are. It is, yeah, it is, yes. Because sometimes people think because it's so simple that how can this be, it's got to be more complicated.